Corey G, what's going on? It is a lovely winter day today here in Denver, so I'm all bundled up and would love to know where you are. What's going on in your world? Are you in a place that's sunny and warm? Are you someplace also cold and frigid? So while I am giving this shirt over to my personal page, say hello. Let me know what's going on in your world. And then we're going to jump into evolving your mind, body, and soul to create lasting change and to up-level your life. So, hang on 2 seconds. Perfect. Okay, yay, it's all done. Getting much better at this. Okay, so often when we're in a place where we want to make changes in our life, there is an overwhelming amount of information about how to make changes in our life. And we all know that making changes in our life is not easy, and often we can make changes but they don't stick. So often you'll see the, person who has some significant success or somehow something drastic changes, but then if you follow them within a couple months, often they're back in their old ways, their old patterns and habits. And so what I've been working on in my career in personal development is creating tools and through all the research I've done and experimenting on myself and figuring out what works and what doesn't, is to really find tools that help you sustain change, because change is hard enough as it is, but then to have to face the fact that you kind of defaulted, went back to your old patterns and habits, and then have to change again, that's just too much. I mean, obviously our desire is to make the change and to have it stick and to start to operate at a different level. So this is for you if you are in a place where you're just kind of, life is just okay. It's, your things are okay and you can't complain necessarily, but you're having this kind of gnawing away at your soul that you just really want something more, that you really want to create a life that you love, and just to have this sense of being on this grand adventure and that you're creating something that you are proud of and that is a legacy for those that follow, and to really be an example for people of what is possible when you commit to not only making change but also commit to evolving and elevating every area of your life. So if that is you are in the right place. So where change happens, obviously it's in the mind, the body, the soul. It's biological, it's chemical, and there's also, a lot of energetic components of change. And so through the research I've done and through all the experimenting I've done and applying this to different, challenges in my life that I've overcome in different situations, what I have found is we have to meet every single one of those levels. We have to work at the body level, we have to work at the mind level, because the mind can be sometimes our own worst enemy. And then of course we have to work at an energetic level. So combining those three things is what creates lasting change. If we just rework our thought systems and belief systems and we don't change anything else, it's too easy to fall back into the old habits. If we just change, our bodily systems, maybe we change the way we exercise or the food we eat, or we change maybe our sleep patterns. We're just looking at the physical form. If we just change that, again, our mind will then work against us. And then if we're just working with the energetic level and our mind and body are at odds with that, then that won't last either. So we have to look at change and make changes from all three levels, the body, mind, and soul. And when you do that, that's when change lasts. And that's not only that it just lasts, but then you continue to evolve and elevate to even higher levels, because there's no end to our evolution. It continues and it never stops. So things that have worked for me, and there's a guide that I have created that you can get your hands on. I'll put it in the comments after this is over. And of course, I invite you to reach out for me if you're in a place where you deeply desire to reach the next level, whether that's in your business or perhaps, just to have a deeper sense of connection in your relationships, or you're just in a place where you're like, I just feel like I'm always at odds with myself. I am constantly battling these negative thoughts and I tend to self-sabotage, and I feel like I'm in the cycle of really not getting what I truly desire, which is a sense of really understanding who I am, why I'm here, what I'm here for, my contribution, and really feeling a deep sense of purpose and satisfaction and fulfillment and joy and excitement, instead of feeling like just going through the motions, kind of bored, kind of checked out, kind of settling, because we're not here to settle. We're here to explore and to create even higher levels of awareness and operating and being and interacting and engaging. So if you are in that place, send me a private message and let's connect. And I would love to hear more about where you are and what you want and where you feel like you're maybe not getting to that next place. Maybe you're feeling a little bit stuck or a little bit blocked, and you'll walk away with some steps to actually move towards that, to get around those blocks, so that you can start to feel a little bit of sense of achievement, of progression in some way right away. Because that's always my goal, is to leave you with something tangible, applicable, practical, that is personal to you, because change has to be personal. You can't take some 5-step formula and think it's going to work for you. And that's the work I do with my clients, is looking at all the research and applying it in a way that works for them. Their specific circumstances, their specific situation, their particular environment and structures and in relationships, all of that. Hi, I can't see the name. Thank you so much for being here. So that is my goal too. And the reason that is my goal, and that's always been my goal, but it has become even more obvious in the last few years, because I've worked with coaches who have presented a powerful model of change that had worked for them, but it didn't work for me. And so I didn't have to, but I chose to go on my own journey of discovery to see, what is it going to take for me to get to the point where I can make those changes in a way that is designed for my body, for my environment, to help me start to make adjustments in my structures and systems, and that actually works with how I am wired, instead of trying to apply this other method that was powerful for this other person, but had no impact. It really didn't have the impact that I desired on my life and the changes that I wanted to make. And my mission has always been to work with my clients on an individual level, so that they are starting to see the system they are creating is their system. And that is the only way the system will work, is if it's their system and they have ownership over it, and they have the tools and skills and resources to modify it and adjust it as needed based on where they need to make adjustments in their environment, or perhaps change some different structures, look at their belief systems, look at their energy, look at their relationships. All of that, again, is critical to making change, because we want the change to be just your natural next evolution, not something that you're constantly fighting to maintain. So, cool? So the first part is connecting to the body. So finding ways to truly connect to your body. And again, this has to be personal. So figuring out for you, what are ways that you can move that bring you energy and joy and make you feel this deep sense of connection to who you are, to this connection to life, to something bigger beyond you. And so explore and experiment with what types of movement really light you up and energize you, because we spend the majority of our time in our heads. And so it's important to find time, make time, create time to be in your body. And then once you're in your body, then the next step is connecting to your soul. And how I prefer to do that is through meditation and visualization. So getting into the body, connecting with the breath, feeling your movement and feeling the sense of groundedness and presence, and then connecting to the imagination and creativity, and really exploring, your deep desires and those longings of your soul of wanting something bigger. And what does that look like? And what does it feel like? And what are all the different senses that you will experience, and all the different relationships and all the images that you will see. So really connecting on a visceral, emotional, sensory level. And then the next step is connecting to the mind. So the natural progression for me then is to commit to it. So write it down, because you're also adding a kinesthetic element as you're writing it with pen and paper. And write it out. What is that vision? And write it out as if you are in it right now, in present tense. So you're creating your day in that moment with the energy, with the enthusiasm, with the creativity and imagination, and all the senses and emotions. And once you have it written down, read it out loud. So you are affirming that this is true, this is real, this is what's happening, this is the day that you have ahead of you, and that's already in motion because you're already committing to it and creating it. And then the second part of that writing and affirming part is then to commit to take action that aligns with that highest level version of you as the evolved version of you. So taking that scary action, taking the action that you've been avoiding or has you sort of feeling terrified. Maybe it's, again, having perhaps a scary conversation or uncomfortable conversation, or asking some different questions of yourself about what is truly important to you and why are you here and what do you want to be here for? Or maybe it's, finding the solution to an issue you've been struggling with, or starting to explore some different areas for a career change, or elevating your business in a different way. So then as you are going through the day, you're always looking for opportunities to keep connected to your breath, to your body, to your imagination, so that you're acting on your intuition immediately. You're taking those actions even though they might not make sense, because you feel that nudge from your heart, and you're not letting your head talk you out of it. So as you put those together and use them regularly, you'll start to notice that your thinking has changed. You're thinking at higher levels. Your beliefs are changing. You're starting to hold higher level beliefs of what is possible for you. You notice that your conversations are changing, that they're higher level conversations. You're noticing even that your relationships are evolving and elevating, as well as how you're showing up in all of your relationships and all of your situations and in every area of your life, that you are showing up more confident and more poised and feeling the sense of real deep inner security and commitment and conviction in who you are and what you're here for, and that there is something that you are creating and building that is so important that you won't stop ever. Does that make sense? Okay, so I will share the guide to help you. And again, this is one way that I have found significant success as far as making changes in issues with my body, with my mind, with negative thinking, with anxiety and stress, with sort of the spiral of talking yourself out of things, of procrastination, of holding yourself back and playing small, or talking yourself out of something. So using this tool to help you start to connect to a deeper sense of purpose and meaning, which will then drive you to take those more powerful actions that will then propel you into the life that you truly desire, that grand adventure that is awaiting you, that is your true life, and you as the highest level version of you. Cool? Okay. So if there are any questions, please let me know. And of course, send me a message if you would like to connect and receive some guidance on your next steps and what might be getting in the way of you taking those steps. And I would love to hear any feedback on this video. And of course, if this was powerful and impactful for you, please share it with someone that might need some extra support in making those changes in their life. So until next time, thanks for being here.